In 1620, a group of English separatists known as the Pilgrims arrived in what is now Massachusetts, seeking religious freedom and a new life in the New World. They established a colony at Plymouth, which became one of the earliest successful settlements in what would become the United States. Over the next several centuries, the country would experience significant growth and change. In 1776, the 13 British colonies in North America declared their independence, forming the United States of America. This event would lead to a long and bloody war for independence, which the United States eventually won with the help of French and Spanish allies. Following independence, the new country began to expand westward, acquiring new territories through purchase, negotiation, and war. This expansion led to conflicts with Native American tribes who had lived on the land for centuries, and eventually resulted in the forced relocation of many tribes to reservations. In the early 19th century, the United States became involved in the international slave trade, importing millions of Africans who were sold into bondage to work on plantations in the South. Slavery would become a major point of contention between northern and southern states, eventually leading to the Civil War in 1861. The Civil War was fought between the northern states, known as the Union, and the southern states, known as the Confederacy, over the issue of slavery. The war lasted 4 years and resulted in the deaths of over 6 lakh soldiers and civilians. The Union eventually emerged victorious, and slavery was abolished throughout the country with the passage of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution in 1865. In the aftermath of the war, the country went through a period of reconstruction, in which the federal government attempted to rebuild and reunify the country. However, efforts to grant civil rights to African Americans were met with resistance from many white Southerners, and the period was marked by violence and political turmoil. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the United States experienced a period of rapid industrialization and economic growth. This era was marked by the rise of major corporations and the creation of new technologies that would change the world, such as the telephone, the automobile, and the light bulb. However, this period was also marked by significant social and economic inequality, as workers were exploited and forced to work long hours for low wages. This led to the formation of labor unions and the rise of the progressive movement, which sought to address issues such as income inequality, political corruption, and child labor. The early 20th century was also marked by 2 world wars, in which the United States played a significant role. The country entered World War I in 1917, and helped to tip the balance of power in favor of the Allies, leading to their victory in 1918. During World War II, the United States played an even greater role, entering the conflict after the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941. The country mobilized its resources to fight on multiple fronts, and eventually played a major role in defeating Nazi Germany and Japan. Following World War II, the United States emerged as a superpower, with a strong economy and a global military presence. The country became involved in the Cold War, a decades-long conflict between the United States and the Soviet Union, which was fought on multiple fronts, including through proxy wars in Korea and Vietnam. During this period, the United States also experienced significant social and cultural changes. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s sought to end racial segregation and discrimination, and was led by figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. The movement was successful in securing major victories, such as the Civil Rights Act of